Hey folks, I'm Aspen Arrow, and we are here for the finale of RimWorld. Was intending to do 2 episodes, but not a whole lot happened in the second to last recording. So you can see we have a few quests that we're hanging on. We were almost done with marine armor, and that will ultimately be the largest thing we complete. Because we are going to finish up marine armor and get marine helmets on everybody. You can see after our bar skip home last time, the dromedaries get to have a nice day inside. Oh, there it is, marine armor. So we will set about having Smith make helmets for everybody and just get a few little things researched. We're going to go ahead and get auto doors to speed up getting in and out. And I think that's about it. You can see we actually did not research a lot of things, but that's all right. It is time to bring the run to an end. And the only other thing that happened of note as we worked on getting the helmets made is Four Eyes is pregnant again. Second child on the way, hopefully a happier outcome. And one last little thing before we begin, we are going to send Danny off to dump some wealth. We have a bunch of flat gear from changing out our helmets. We've got guns. We've got all sorts of wealth. And as you can see, it is the rare ambush. Danny ambushed by a Neanderthal. Now, Danny is not tough and does not have any particularly strong melee bonuses aside from just good level. Does have a mono sword, of course, a persona mono sword, so hopefully we'll be able to handle that. Also, we'll just let her be invisible, and Green here is perplexed. What in the world is hitting them? Perhaps they are hitting themselves. All right, we win the battle. Danny can resume a quick trip over and make it home safely. So it is now time for the royal ending. Stellarch bring us with their 4 guards, who I'm sure won't be a problem at all. But Bringus does come with some good sidecasts if we need them. Ultimately, try not to use the Stellarch. We unfortunately have a 13-year-old genie, so they have small body size inner wimps, and 2 hussars who will be upset about using go juice to keep them from dying, because for some reason, the Empire is always against drug use, which is fine. I guess it's probably to try and prevent you from keeping the Stellarch happy by just using drugs, but it doesn't interact well with the biotech DLC, which is that you get hussars that will get a minus 15 mood penalty for using the go juice that they will die without. And here you go, Shattered Empire. Drug use prohibitive. If you use one, it's minus 15. So, good soldiers. Yay. Oh, we also have 2 pyromaniacs. I genuinely wish you just didn't get the cataphracts with this. It is such a pain. A 13-year-old wimp genie. So they have small body size and it'll just go down. Greedy with go juice dependency. So they're going to be upset they don't have a nice bedroom. They're going to be upset if you give them go juice. They will die if you don't. They also are in the wrong apparel because they are, you know, minor royals, and these DLCs don't interact well with each other. And we have a greedy gourmand. And another pyro. I do hope at some point we can maybe have some influence on that or look at how to integrate this quest, because quite frequently it feels like the cataphracts are a bigger problem than they're worth. Yeah, they can take a lot of damage, but their mood is almost always terrible, even though they are fully expendable. And as you can see, already on a food binge, right as we get a siege from the pest band. Oh, good thing we have zones. Everyone inside the walls. Such joyful music as we prepare to be mortared. So we are not using to our best of ability Four Eyes, who is pregnant and will move slower. Nestor and Noise are still not full body size, so they do have guns. They will fight if they need to, but we're gonna try and keep them as last resorts. Unfortunately, we're gonna find out charge lances continue to suck and have terrible range. Hoping to pull them into a melee block here. And I did not check the weapons to notice that our raiders are actually a lot of snipers, so they outrange us. So it's time to rethink that strategy. And we'll try to use our mortars. We do have, I think, one spare barrel. You can see it's actually an all sniper raid. Randy has been really good at countering us in the late game with these all sniper raids. Normally the assault rifles pretty much outrange everything, so... We do get a hit, some people light on fire. They get a mortar off. Fortunately with wasters, it's a tox shell, so it just goes into our new storage room. Accidentally loaded the incendiary shells. So we'll get that switched over. We want the explosive shells. And that mortar that they got off not doing much. Just continue to trade blows here. Keep hoping those explosive shells are gonna go off, but unfortunately not. Again, more tox gas, but we managed to get them hit enough that they are going to stop sieging. You can see our royal friends already being very helpful by being in low mood. And then I forgot to tell him to stop shooting mortars as another mortar goes by. Unfortunately, even though we do get a little bit of cover here, I do miss that there is unfortunately several who got down below us. So we are going to take a few hits. Try and get this one out of cover. See, unfortunately, Rove gets taken out, shattering the femur. Ended up with so many psycasts. And we are taking shots from both sides, but we'll skip them out of cover at least. Hopefully negating some of the power of those sniper rifles. See, just a few bruises other than poor Rove. They are starting to beat on our walls, but they're reasonably split apart. And we actually are going to go ahead and use that shield. So we will not get shot anymore. Quickly get everybody out of the way and rescue Rove. And we're back inside the walls. Unfortunately, for some reason, Danny continued on or got tied up in combat during that. But we do manage to win. And Danny, unfortunately, losing her arm. So we're off to a good start. Our Royal is almost downed and we lose an arm. Rove loses a leg. Good thing we have bionics. So yeah, slammed in the arm with a sniper rifle was apparently enough to just completely knock her arm off. Good times. Makes much sense. So we will get everybody tended. We will go grab Rove's assault rifle. Of course, here's where zones are a problem. I can't just go grab the rifle. I have to change all my zones and it's fine. If it wasn't for zones, we'd have a whole other set of problems. And we'll send 4 off up to 10 to Danny. We've got everyone hopefully stabilized. And I suppose make an arm and leg it is. We did get a second bench in because we actually have a second crafter in Novo. So able to do things a little quicker. Also moved everything into a storage room because I was sick of looking at the disaster that was our crafting room. We apparently are leaving Rove to lay in the dirt, so we'll go get her taken care of. And away everyone goes. Fire's not in the home zone, so we'll fix that real quick before it lights everything else on fire. And there we go. Back inside the walls we go. I did reform our ideology, just adding and changing our rituals. So we do have a drum party now. We also have things that will recharge our psi focus since we generally are not spending time at the anima tree. It's a handy way to recover after using all of our skills to get through the raids. And there we go. It was fun. Everybody enjoyed it. Also gives us a bit of a mood boost. Fortunately for us, Mila gets an inspired surgery to help us install those arms and legs as we are raided by the Neanderthals. Fortunately, this one doesn't outrange us, and it is a breach raid, so we should be just fine with some assault rifles. And I guess it's time for the kids to contribute. breachers in the front, so fortunately we should be able to take care of all of them. And our walls should remain intact. Picked up an insanity lance when we sent Danny off trading. So we'll make quick use of that as it is time to leave this place. Might as well use everything at our disposal. Accidentally target the body instead of the person with the axe. These things happen. And everyone getting a little close for comfort, but we're pretty quick. Everyone's got at least one bionic leg. Pretty much everyone. The kids might not have one, but we have bionic legs. We have impids. We should be able to get out of the way. You can tell Mila, even with her bionic leg, still not as fast as everyone else. But hey, she doesn't have a peg leg anymore. And easy peasy, Neanderthals are on their way. Legs and arms almost finished already. And next up, a mech raid. And it is a breach raid. Termites just love to give you brain damage, so always fun to see them. Not sure why the thump cannon is such a high damage to the head, but it seems like the #1 way to get brain damage is to get hit by it. So now that our cataphracts are in a better mood, I'm sure that they'll be quite happy to tank any brain damage that might be incoming. Smith is on a food binge despite a good mood. Can't remember why. I think Smith is a gourmand. So, cataphracts up front. And see Rove up and about again. And we're just gonna skip that termite right here next to our melee folks. Use that skip shield again. And we can't fire out, but it does keep us from taking damage while we get the termite taken care of. Move our folks on out of the way. Scythers can be dealt with by the cataphracts. Yes, they only have charge lances, but really they're just there to tank damage. That's the only purpose. So now that everyone's all tied up with cataphracts, we shall make our approach from the side. Probably should have given one of the cataphracts that Zeus hammer we have instead of a charge lance, but obviously didn't think about it at the time. Fortunately, we're able to take care of it. We'll go get everyone patched up again. Just took bruises. So we are All right. Yeah, roll down because they keep getting in fights over trying to convert each other. And as the sun decides to have a flare, it's also time for an infestation, which is cool. We're not gonna fight it. No real reason to. It can be down there for defense. We'll try and harvest our crops. We do have a ton of food, of course, with the hydroponics, and we grew a big batch of corn that got ready right after the royals arrived, just to be able to make high quality meals and ensure that we got through this launch without having to worry too much about whether or not our food supply was going to do anything. You can see just an 8 hive infestation, but of course they are going to dig out of that ancient danger. Got an Imperial trader, and Danny is now up from getting her bionic arm, so she will do some trading. But first, let's have a raid from the mech hive again. Coming in down by the infestation. And, well, in midair at first, but there they are. We've got a centurion, a centipede, and there's a few centipedes up in the north as well. I guess Randy didn't like that we killed the termite. But first, let's trade. I was trying to get our trees replanted. Unfortunately, they do just sort of degrade over time, and I'm a little afraid to move the stumps for the mood penalty, but we were trying to grow a lush forest. It just didn't want to stick around quite till the end, I suppose. So we're going to grab some Glitter World medicine. We're going to remember that we bought a far skip side trainer at some point and forgot to use it. We did make Danny a prestige marine helmet so we can get rid of her old recon helmet. Nothing too much. But I suppose since we're getting raided, we'll have to stop messing around with tree stumps. And a rare moment when we actually have animals on the map. So it seemed like a reasonable time for an animal pulsar. We'll see what happens though. Well, everyone stays in the walls. We'll actually forbid the doors, though the bugs can chew through the walls. Poor little dryads, I think are on their 4th or 5th manhunter event at this point. Boomalopes exploding. Unfortunately, not taking anyone out with them. Are gonna come stand down here, but it does look like the manhunter pulse, ensuring that the bugs are not actually chewing through our walls. And hey, a turkey migration, just in time for Thanksgiving in the US. Well, maybe a little early, but seems that the bugs will just be patrolling our walls for a bit, so we'll see what havoc ensues once the mechs arrive. It is still strange to get used to mechs actually waiting to attack. You can see the centipedes hanging out up there on the right. Boomalopes down, unfortunately not taking anything with them, but we got a couple of cracks and some friendly fire. It was worth a shot. There's almost never any animals on the map in the desert, so... And the turkeys majestically weaving their way through all the other angry animals. Look at them go. All right, here they come. And you can see the bugs are distracted because the scythers actually decided to start hitting their nest. So while it did look as though this strategy would backfire, we ultimately are achieving some level of success because the mechs decided to destroy the hives. And unfortunately, the poor little dryads will be giving their lives for the cause. And some centipedes not involved with that lower group, so they are running around the walls. We will go take care of them. Oh, we did get locust armor for Gavril at some point too, so he does have some better armor as well. Though I will likely forget to use it most of the time. They do also have shield belts on, as do the other cataphracts, so let's take care of these scythers. And the centipede. We do have one Zeus hammer, so we'll send our friend there up to take care of it. All in all, accuracy with those assault rifles doing really well. You can see that the bugs have actually managed to take out the Centurion. They're fighting the other two centipedes, so we can pop back inside. Poor little dryads. And that centipede's down. So I guess it all worked out in the end. I don't know that that animal pulsar was really the best idea. If they had started digging through our walls, it would have been a problem. You can see a few hives left, so the centipedes are actually more interested in taking those out than fighting us or banging on our walls, which again works to our advantage. So we'll speed up here for a bit. We seem to be pretty safe. Centipede finally gets to take a few shots. Really just shows that melee locking is so powerful. Just see, they've taken a lot of damage and are moving very slowly, so they're gonna meander on down to those hives, and we have pretty much cleared the map of any wildlife, so no more animal pulsars for us. Get a quest. Probably won't be breaking anyone out, but it can be handy to have things in the back pocket if you are getting overwhelmed to summon in extra raids and try and save it. We do also have Neuroquake, but I think we'll be okay without it. A little hesitant with Neuroquake. I used it one time and I missed that somebody was outside the radius, I think. And so they went berserk and one-shot the original Naked Brutality pawn who had been in the whole run. And I got kind of angry about it. So I tend not to use it. And hey, look, it's time for, well, more sniper rifles. But there's still a few, mechs on the field here. We'll see what happens. Man our mortars. And let's just shoot them, I suppose. We got a Hercules here. See if he can manage a mortar shot to the face. And apparently we hit. Yep. Poor Smog. Down for the count. Centipede's kindly taken out that infestation for us the rest of the way, so we don't have to worry about hives repopulating. And the Waster's gonna go kindly spend all of their tox packs on the centipedes that are immune to toxic gas, so saves us the hassle. At least most of their tox packs. I think they have the launchers as well. So, cataphracts out front do act as bait, as usual. But first, more fighting. For some reason, Hercules here deciding to get really close, but chain shotgun doing work. There's the tox gas. We got one centipede down. And two, so I suppose it's time that they'll come fight us. Fortunately, still a large number of snipers in the batch. But we will do what we can, hoping that they are mostly going to go after the cataphracts. You can see sniper rifles, bolt action yet again. Randy just really on point today with making sure that we don't outrange things. Unfortunately, already hitting Nestor. And our cataphract's definitely taken some tox gas for us, but that's okay. I believe the two hussars actually will have a certain amount of immunity to it. And I guess that means we got to go up a little closer to take out these snipers. Emily managing to get the corner there. But we got it. Unfortunately, Forath takes a shot. Nestor takes a shot. Cataphract's actually not in too bad a shape. Mostly just bruises and a little bit of toxic buildup, so they can come back inside. We'll get everybody tended again. You can see they did do their go juice, and there you go, minus 15. Yay! But at least they won't die, so I suppose that's something. And next up, we have yet another raid. You can see 2 Diabolus. And oh hey, another raid. Impids. So I'm sure this will resolve itself because the fireproof mechs will fight the impids. But hey, damage is damage. And one way or the other, they'll at least fight themselves for a bit. Find the right button. So yeah, they are attacking immediately. They're unusually clever, but we don't have traps or turrets, so not much for them to avoid. We will just stay in the walls and sort of follow around, so if they start beating on them, we can pop out. You can see it was actually a 3-prong raid of impids, but Diabolus has already taken care of, well, one of the groups. And doesn't look like the mechs really took any casualties. And the second group of impids running in, lighting their friends on fire. And yeah, that didn't go well for them. And the final group. Just lighting their friends on fire. There's just fire everywhere. Good thing it's the desert. And as you can see, that pretty much take care of that impid raid. So I guess we'll have to take care of the mechs. Fortunately, I always forget the Diabolus. Diabolus has that stupid little shooter, and so actually outranges pretty well. And unfortunately, pulled him way too far forward. These things happen sometimes. Novo taking a hit. Nothing too bad. I believe we may have some solutions here. Really wish the psychics were just a little bigger. But I'm not quite sure what the range is or why they were set that way, but it seems like, oh, and poor Nestor taking a hit again. Just not his day or week or ship launch. Well, not ship launch, but you can see actually taking 2 pretty bad hits. Can't skip the Diabolus. I'm not sure which way I want to say it today, so we may go back and forth. Almost in berserk range. There we go. Maybe? Yes? Ah, look at that. We can berserk. And time to skedaddle. Unfortunately, catching Smith, who's now gonna run to the water. Got some mech on mech violence. Thing just dead shots too. He gets hit just about every time. Oh, we did eventually give Smith that bionic spine as well, because it was laying around and we might as well. We'll go ahead and deploy a low shield. Unfortunately, do knock down one of the cataphracts, the 13-year-old. What a shock. I think mostly because he's a wimp, but what do you do? Send out our melee cataphracts and then focus down the Diablos. Or move quickly out of the way before it lights us all on fire. Unfortunately, Ned Poss, Needipus, well, yeah, they're not surviving that blast. But it is down, and now we're just taking care of the remaining X. So not the prettiest of fights, but again, we survive. Well, except for the cataphract, but that's okay. Everyone else of importance is back in base, and it's time to get tended up again. Go ahead and let everyone do doctoring just to ensure that we're triaging and getting wounds patched up. So, vaporized it is, I suppose. Thank you, Needipos. And oh look, more mechs. Yay! Did bury our fallen cataphract friend over with our baby, so they can hang out amongst the trees. And oops, all scythers! Everyone's favorite raid. Because we all like losing fingers and noses. And for some reason, when I reformed the ideology, we started getting the debuff for our disrespected altar, even though the altar itself has no flooring requirements, no room requirements. So we're gonna toss down some floors just to get rid of that mood debuff because it's not really helping us. We also have a psychic drone high, so Danny is at a -45 mood. Had her give a throne speech. We did a few festivals hoping to offset that. And so far, we're making it, but you can see moods are quite low. And I see -30 for Cezanne. And that seemed to take care of it. Not sure what happened. I think that can happen when you reform sometimes, so easy enough to toss some flooring down. You can see -38, -30, and here's Danny with a -45. do fortunately have apparently didn't like the cataphract. So we're holding above, but it's not a good time for a high psychic drown. Pretty happy with how this base turned out. I don't really plan what I do, as you can sort of see. But it was a nice base. And mostly worked. I still think our little defensive area down there probably should have been double walled, but since we're going out to fight everyone anyway, it's been mostly all right. Scythers are gonna beat on our walls. Whoop. And for whatever reason, that always happens. Game just rips you to the corner. They'll probably take out a few walls. Unfortunately, didn't see that our colonists decided to go out that door instead of loop around, so Scythers are closer than I meant to be. Fortunately, we have skip on several people, so we'll hopefully save our fingers and toes. Nope. Formula. Early here and bad time to be visiting. Bad time to be opening the door as well. Unfortunately, they do manage to knock down one of the cataphracts. Didn't get them both out the door in time to be fighting. And Curly's just gonna keep wandering around here. Gonna pitch in, I guess. Go, Curly, go! That's right. Take that Scyther. And Curly gonna go tank another Scyther for us. So I guess good job, Curly. Thanks for hanging out. Go ahead and rescue our other cataphract. Didn't attack the member, but you know, whatever. It's cool. It's a reasonable thing that when they're fighting enemies that you didn't tell them to and you have no control over them and they step in the way, that you get penalized. It's really enjoyable. Sort of like Hussars not wanting to take their go juice. But that's all right. We are making our way with, all in all, I think pretty well. They're not playing on, you know, losing is fun or anything, but I'm sure these raids could be much worse. Send Gabriel out to take care of our friend here, who lost their hand and a toe. Curly just gonna go have a meal now. Bleed all over our barracks. All right. Danger scissors taken care of. And we got the plasma sword. I do think it's funny that they just leave them laying there after they tend them. They're like, yep, it's cool. You can just lay on the ground. Oh, we did also make hospital beds and a vitals monitor. So our hospital did get some improvements just to hopefully make sure we got through this. They also have a TV because somehow I ended up with 2 flat screen TVs. So I guess if you're laying in bed in the hospital, you might as well have something to watch. These scythers did do a bit of a number on our walls. And it is not time for the episode to end. It is time for a center drop raid in the middle of our base. Hooray! I guess we will be using our Stellarch, who does have a Berserk Pulse. Then Potato in to hang out with Auntie Four Eyes, since not entirely sure. It does appear that they're going to be landing in our steel pile and not in the middle of the base. Fantasia inside went to all the trouble to get a healer mech serum. I don't want to lose the dog. And unfortunately, I'm gonna make a mistake here, but we get through it. It wasn't ideal, but I had the Stellarch do Berserk Pulse way down, and for some reason it didn't think he was in range, but for some reason it counted the Cataphract as being in range of that Berserk Pulse. And even looking at it now, I don't think he was, but it's fine. We survived the penalty. We don't go hostile with the Empire, or we would have had to redo all of this, and it would not be the finale, but unfortunate that that happened. You can see that the Cataphract is gonna just take a whole bunch of damage, but it gives us time to take care of this center drop raid. Well, I guess it's, yeah, it's still, I think, a center drop, but whatever. We're not in the center of the map, so just a drop pod raid. Fortunately, able to take care of it rather quickly. We will need to be very careful. Also wonder why, if the Cataphracts basically are expendable, why does it matter that I use Berserk Pulse on them? But whatever, we took a heck of a penalty for that, but we are almost done, so hopefully we can avoid future mistakes. And we get a siege again, this time from the Itakeen. Complete with Doomsday and triple rockets, always delightful. So I think we have an ally who really wants to help with that. And being the excellent allies that they are, yep, at the bottom of the map. So mortars it is. Very pink Wookiee. We do also have a triple rocket launcher we picked up at some point, so we will go ahead and use our own as mechs arrive on top of it. Must be getting ready for that last push. Randy remains active and quite angry that we are going to leave him. And oh look, all Scythers again. I suppose it could have been worse. It could have been, I don't know, all centipedes with miniguns. Which outrange us just slightly. Oh, that's right. The Dryads went Manhunter again. So they're out there. Oh, those poor Dryads. I think with them being the only animals on the map, they just were constantly getting the Manhunter hits. So we're gonna skip Novo over to shoot our rocket launcher at this siege. Completely missing that there's a dryad there. So Novo has invisibility. We managed to actually get invisibility on quite a few of our people. And invisibility and Skip have definitely been... Well, Skip, I think, has really been the star of the show. So Novo over there, and we're gonna fire off that triple rocket. Go ahead and just skip this dryad out of the way. Noticing we had an orbital bombardment the whole time too, that I think I completely forgot to use. And unfortunately, we take out a hunk of our forest, but we do hit a few of the sieging Wookiees. So we'll skip Nova back out of the way. Allies do finally arrive to go tank the rest of those rocket hits. Such good friends to do that for us. You can see, unfortunately, in that time, they did get one of their mortars up. And they do manage to hit our battery, but nothing too bad. So let the fighting begin. And hey, they are finally sieging us. Or, well, attacking us. So I guess we better go take care of it. Fortunately, Allies still there hanging out. Unfortunately, taking out almost our entire forest that we'd planted over there. I know forest is a generous word, but it's the middle of the desert, and it did take a lot of time to plant all of those trees. All right, easy peasy. We now have a forest fire, and we have scythers. So I guess it's time to fight more scythers. And clearly we want to safeguard some more nobles in the middle of all this. That seems like a good idea. Poor Nestor really got beat up. See, the little monument's definitely taking a beating, but if it's that and not our walls, works for me. A little close for comfort there, so we're gonna go back inside. Auto door, definitely better than those granite doors. Did not put them in around the whole base though, so. You can see Scyther is actually making good work through that wall, but decided to abandon. So with everybody split up, we should be able to pick these off very easily. Sorry, fairly easily. Long recording. Making progress. Unfortunately, don't notice that the Scyther actually got in our base down there. So Gavril fortunately nearby, Danny nearby. But we have a hole in the wall. Not sure why I jumped him out of the way, but hey, in the heat of the moment, you just do things. Also, I think he has better armor than Danny, so really, we need Danny to survive. The choice making was not the best here. And yeah, it's still just heavy, needs heavy terrain. I'm gonna keep clicking it and I have no idea why. Fortunately, just a little bit of damage. Our other group doing fine, holding their own. But the Scythers appear to notice that there's a hole in our wall now. Unfortunately, the Cataphract's extremely slow moving, so... And Gavril and Danny are gonna have to hold the line for a few minutes here. Nice to see that Danny didn't lose her, you know, ability to do things. I think she's been a good royal. I'll be honest, half the time she's the one hauling stuff, burning apparel, burning bodies. She has been an absolute trooper, and I don't think she really ever had a mental break. Just always getting stuff done. Again, fortunately not too much damage. Was unfortunate that they got through the wall, but we can get that fixed pretty quick, and we do still have 2 construction bots that we're sending out to fix the outside walls to keep our people inside. A nice drop of 17 components. Too bad we do not need it. And with that, the shuttle has arrived. And so let's end this with a summary of how I decided everything was going to go. We have Gavril and Four Eyes, our couple who arrived to us from the Ancient Danger. They didn't start as a couple. Gavril had to be imprisoned. Four Eyes had to get over a drug addiction. And ultimately, they had a whirlwind romance, got pregnant, got married, and lost their baby. But they are now pregnant again. And so they will be staying so that they can visit their child buried with our anima tree and our Granland trees. And hopefully a better story unfolds for them. Novo and Sezin and their child Potato, who began life quite literally next to our potato fields because Sezin couldn't get to the bed fast enough, will be staying. Rove really never made any good connections. She was the only impid we were able to recruit, and she was a great shooter and a good miner. Other than that, her story was a bit small. Cuz, our leader, frequently the one running around and doing our errands, also really not that much of a story. She was always here, but didn't make much of the way of friends or love. No children. Haz and Forath, who gave us our original child, Baby Noise, ultimately divorced. After Forath went on one too many assaulting sprees, she angered pretty much all of her tribe members, ultimately lost her position of leadership. And so they are now divorced, but they stay behind and continue to try to regrow the forest after the trees were so important to our early game. And as for who is leaving, Mila, Danny, and Smith all came to us with prosthetic or peg legs and became our peg leg trio. And so they go off to the stars with bionics and legs, and Danny in her royal title. And I thought maybe Haz and Forath would want Baby Noise to explore the stars. So Noise and Nestor. Nestor was a refugee child who wanted to join us, and I figured, well, maybe Noise wants a friend. So Noise will go with Auntie Danny and bring his friend Nestor. And of course, our royals will take us there. As always, thanks for joining me in RimWorld. I hope you enjoyed the series and our ending to it. I will now leave you with the ending credits.